All right, happy Friday. We are here in the mayor's office, and Mayor Teague, as you can see, his desk's pretty cluttered here because he's got a lot going on here, and he's here to answer one question today. We could go a lot of different places and a lot of different ways, and today we wanted to deal with some social media conversation we've seen around Elmira and the clearing that's being done over there, what it isn't, and what it will be. Okay. So what do we got?
All right, so to kind of just give you a little bit of backstory on that, the city owns 45 plus or minus acres there. We had that logged last year, cleared the timber. We reached out to Arkansas Economic Development, so we felt like we could get a grant to pay for the final clearing. And so we were able to be one of 22 cities that were granted some money from a $25 million state pot. We went down to the Capitol this week and received that grant. So super excited about that. Thankful for the partnership from Arkansas Economic Development. Thank you to the Chamber and the Russellville Economic Alliance for making that happen in our grant department. So what we're going to be doing is clearing that land. We are in communication right now, some talks with, we haven't closed a deal, but it is a manufacturer. It is a manufacturer, a well-respected manufacturer of products that will be, that are used worldwide. So it's really a great thing. It is not a data center. We are not in talks with a data center on Elmira. So I don't think that there's any possibility that you would see a data center in that location. I think so, like I say, even if we weren't in those conversations, but we're not in talks with a data center. We're not in talks with a church, a bank, or a chicken place either. So, or a Mexican restaurant. We're not in talks with any of that, but we are in talks with a manufacturer that we hope to. I would like to think maybe we can have a conversation or make something public in the, if we do commit and they commit, kind of meet that agreement, maybe sometime this year. I don't think that project will take off this year, but we should, once we make a commitment, we would have a timeline that we would be able to share with the public. Like I say, all of that kind of, so there's really no burden to the current taxpayer. We do have a 10% match. That money that we're going to be using is actually from what's called the 2003 Economic Development Fund. So that money's actually been sitting there for 20 years. And it's specifically for industrial sites. And so you have to use it for that. You can't use it to fix your roads. You can't use it to fix drainage. It has to be for industrial sites. So that 10% match will be coming out of that. So the current taxpayer will not be experiencing any burden, and also the property will sell. And then at that point in time, we'll put that back into looking at purchasing other property for similar purposes.
So what you're saying, Mr. Mayor, is that the city had some forethought, some foresight years ago to start a process that's going to potentially not just pay off, financially, but be something that can help the community as well. And it's not a data center.
It's not a data center, and I don't know what else to put out there. It's just, and it is hard when you have 100 plus comments on a social media post. You can't answer every one of them, and I do apologize for that. I try to be as active as I can on social media, but social media is for informational purposes. If you want an answer to a question, the best way to get that answer to a question is pick up the phone, call City Hall at 968-2098, and they will give me a message and I will return your call. Or you're sitting in my chair because you called and said, hey, can I come and talk to you? So I am completely open and transparent. Anyone can call and 968-2098, say, hey, can I have a meeting with the mayor? And you get to sit in my office and we get to talk about whatever you want because I work for you. Or also, this week I was sitting at Washburn Park with the Morning with the Mayor, and so I'm fully accessible. If you see me in Walmart, just know you can come up and ask me a question. So I'm there for you. I work for you, and I'm not hiding anything. I will answer any question I'm able to answer. Sometimes we do have conversations with different people. Sometimes when we're hypothetically in economic development, the state may send us a project and it has a code name and we don't know anything about it. We've got an idea of what, maybe how many employees, what kind of industry it may be in, and So we're trying to recruit a code name. Owens Corning is a great example. We did not know what Owens Corning was for probably a couple of years. It was just, you're going through this process and you have this code name of what you're working through, and then finally, but you're competing with multiple different states, and so you're trying to throw incentives, and all these other states are throwing incentives, and at the end of the day, you hope you win that consulting bidding process, however you want to do it. So sometimes we don't even know who we're in conversation with, because we're working through, when you got these requests for information, requests for proposals, different things, we try to work through those things, and you just have an idea of what that industry may be. You got an idea of what those jobs are, so it's kind of an interesting thing. And let's look at the Tabor expansion. That was 5 years in the making. But before that announcement for that expansion, there was 5 years of work that went into that process to make that expansion, working not only here locally, but also working in state at the state level to bring that in. And Tabor's a great community partner. Been here 50 years, and they're just an incredible, great jobs, incredible culture, just a great team out there that really make them, Russellville amazing.
And you mentioned, off camera, we won't get into all these things, that like you mentioned with sometimes you're bidding on a question mark. You know that this is something that's going to bring these things, and this is what you need to know.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have businesses, and we've talked, and like I mentioned off camera, about a couple of places that they have to kind of decide.
Yes.
What do we want to do? Where do we want to go? How do we want? And
yes.
we may say and feel like something's moving here, something might be happening, but really there's another end too, and we have to deal with the other side and the other folks as well. So it's not like you guys, nail things down on your own and we're just going to bring this in.
Yeah.
You have to work with other people.
Well, I think there are certain people out there actually think there's a website that we can go on and say, oh, we want you to come to Russellville. It doesn't work that way. We will have conversations. When we get ourselves in a room with someone, we're like, hey, we would love for you to come to Russellville. We'll talk about this. We'll throw anything out there that we can. But also sometimes they're the ones that are saying, hey, listen, don't mention this yet, because we don't know that we're going to. They may be a national name, and if the word gets out that they may be coming and they don't coming, then that kind of goes against them. And sometimes, at the end of the day, we're doing everything we can to say yes. We're doing everything we can to work with as many people as we can, just like is evident at Valley Park Center with Woodmont and the new retail that's coming in. We're working to help make that happen. So we've seen some unprecedented growth in the last few years. And so we're doing a really amazing job. And this doesn't have to do with me sitting in this chair. If you go back 5 years, you had Phoenix Industries open, you had Americold doing an amazing expansion, Owens Corning is open, you have Tabor Extrusions that is in the middle of a $7 million expansion, and Hackney Laddish has added 100 jobs in the last year and a half and going to add probably 100 more. That's incredible growth. So we have, and I love the fact that the people that are here that we know and we trust are expanding. That means a lot. And so we are recruiting new people, but we are also the people that we know and love are expanding. So we're in a good place, not only just retail, but industry-wide too. And on another note, our youth sports and our tourism is a huge economic impact for the city of Russellville. I was told by the tourism director that March at the Holiday Inn Express was the best month they had ever had on record. So that has to do with youth sports, that has to do with tournaments, has to do with tourism, that has to do with one of our amazing community partners, A&O, having an outage. There's just so much that goes into making that economic impact.